So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Flagler Weather Update. This is the midweek weather update on the 25th of June, 2025. So, what are we looking at here? So, this is water vapor imagery, and this is important to kind of understand what's going on with the weather right now. And all these yellows and such, all of this is abnormally dry air that's spilling into the region. So, this is one of the reasons why we've not seen a lot of rain. Now, there's a disturbance over here firing off some thunderstorms over the panhandle. But also over here, you notice there's a little bit of a spin going on right here in the Bahamas. This is an upper level low pressure system. It is an upper level disturbance, and it's going to be migrating into Florida in the next couple days. And that's going to have some effect on our weather here in Flagler County. So, but with this dry air entrenched on us, it's been really hard to get the afternoon and evening thunderstorms going. So we could actually go look and see where that lightning is, and we switch modes here, and we can actually see all the thunderstorms over the panhandle. You can see a little bit of lightning over here over the Bahamas and such, but that feature again right in here is where that upper level disturbance is. It's an upper level low pressure system, and it's gradually creeping our way. Lots of dry air, as I was just showing you earlier, lots of dry air out over the area. That is inhibiting, and as the brighter the colors, the drier their air is. So this is all dry air being pulled in by this upper level low pressure system. Is this something to worry about with the tropics? Well, let's take a look at that, and that is no. So currently, right now, we see no chances of any showers and any tropical development next 7 days. That's definitely good news. Looking further into the future here, we'll get back to that satellite. This takes us into the middle part of July, and they're not expecting any tropical development in the Atlantic Basin. And going into the middle part of July still, up to July 15th, looks like the tropics stay well behaved. We don't see anything major going on out there. So let's take a look at a wider view now, looking at the global satellite imagery. And that system right here, again, is right here in the Bahamas. And this is going to be creeping our direction in the next couple days. And it is going to enhance and change our weather. And you'll see that in the forecast here in just a little bit. Again, as it spins, it's pulling some drier air ahead of it over the Flagler County and over Florida. At least the part of Florida that we are in. And that is in turn keeping things dry here in Flagler County. So, and you can actually see too, as the satellite, as the sun, you can see all this kind of grayish here. That's all Saharan dust. And that's also contributing to why the tropics are not real busy right at the moment. So let's get into the details now and what's going to be happening here. So today we do have that high pressure system that is right over us as we get into, as we get into tomorrow. Now, we do have a risk of severe thunderstorms to our north, but we do have a marginal risk here, and I'll get into the details of that in just a little bit. But the high pressure stays in control, and this, keep in mind, this map is only showing surface features. That upper level system is going to be moving in. You notice there's showers and storms all over the state of Florida as we get into the end of the week. Now, as we go further on and look into beyond that, let's go and take a look into our local weather now. So for today, there is a risk of severe storms to the north of us. They're expecting a cluster of storms to develop out over Georgia or South Carolina and move down to the south and west. Now, we are close enough that we might get brushed by some of this activity, but right now the thinking is all the severe weather, if it even materializes, will stay off to our north and west, but we could possibly see a shower or a storm in the overnight hours. We're talking about between midnight and sunrise tomorrow morning. So as we go through the rest of the week, and we're going to see better chances of showers and storms on Thursday, and 1 or 2 of those could possibly be strong. And as we get into Friday, we will continue to see the chance of the odd strong storm. When you see this dark green, it means there could be 1 or 2 strong or severe thunderstorms anywhere in the dark green area amongst the showers and storms that actually develop. So let's talk about what's going to be happening with our weather here. This is looking at high temperatures, and for temperatures tonight, we're expecting lows largely in the 70s like it's been the last several nights. We're seeing lows mid-70s beaches, lower 70s inland, Further inland you go, the cooler it gets. Tomorrow, we're looking at high temperatures back up into the 90s for most of us, but the beaches, because of the onshore wind flow, is going to be keeping the beaches a little bit cooler. Mid 80s at the beaches. If further inland you go, the hotter it gets. And as we go into tomorrow night, you can actually see we're back down into the 70s. And through the rest of the week, we're kind of like in the same picture with the 90s during the day. Now, when we get to Saturday, I want you to notice something, though, that you see a lot more 90s here, and the 80s are now kind of pushed up against the beaches, and the 80s are actually higher now. That's because the wind flow, instead of coming in from the ocean, is going to start shifting out of the south and eventually southwest, and that's going to increase the temperatures, but also increase the chances of rain. And as we go into Sunday, we're expecting a little bit more cloud cover, so we get a little bit more relief to the temperatures, and maybe a little bit more of a wind shift as that system passes to our south. And then as we go into next week, kind of staying the same. Let's talk about precipitation chances now, and we're going to talk about first the chances of rain as we go through the next couple nights, a couple days. So for tonight, maybe a 20% chance countywide. Very minimal chance. Tomorrow, a little bit better chances, but those better chances are to the south and west. So if you're out here by Mondex, you got a little bit better chance of seeing a shower or a storm than coastal areas. Could possibly get something that blows in off the ocean in the morning, but most of the activity will be focused in the inland locations. So as we go into tomorrow night, still a very slight chance of a shower or storm in the evening. But as we go now into Friday, now look at the difference from Thursday to Friday. Friday, you see a lot more widespread rain chances, all the way to the beaches, about 80% at the beaches, a little bit better than 80% around the US 1 Florida East Coast Railway Corridor, and then even about 84 to 86% chances out here in the western parts of the county. And so the rain chances will definitely be going up. And then Saturday night, in the evening at least, about a 40 to 50% chance of showers and storms as that activity pushes back off the coast. And as we go into Sunday, still very high rain chances county-wide Sunday, and that's because of the flow coming more out of the southwest to the northeast, which is favored. That gives us a better chance of showers and thunderstorms here. And then as we go into Monday, still pretty high rain chances. Doesn't mean it's going to rain the whole day. It just means that pretty good chance there's going to be a round or two of showers and storms that come through during the course of the day. That's all that means. And it looks like those high rain chances stay with us into Tuesday with all that. We're going to bounce back to heat real quick. We're going to look at heat index values, how hot it's going to get. And so again, with those heat index values, they're staying right near 100, maybe Friday and Saturday, possibly heat index numbers getting into 105, 106. Staying cooler at the beaches. And then as we go into Sunday, because we're expecting a little bit more rainfall, we may actually see those numbers start to come down just a little bit. Speaking of rainfall, so how much rain are we going to get? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So rainfall amounts, let's take a look at the 7-day total. 7-day totals giving us inch to inch and a half from Palm Coast, the beaches, inland to Bunnell, and then maybe up to 2 inches in the inland locations. And this is just average. It means that there could be some heavier rains that fall. You might see some localized heavier amounts than what's being displayed here. That's the 7-day rainfall. So next 24 hours, nothing really to write home about. But as we go in the next 48 hours, still nothing really to write home about. But we go from up to about Saturday, we see those numbers start to increase. Then we get into Sunday, we see those numbers start to increase further. So then even big time as we get into early next week. So we see those numbers start to steadily go up with purpose, especially over the weekend and into next week. Again, it does not mean it's going to rain the entire time. It just means that those rain chances are going to be increasing. Chances of afternoon and evening thunderstorms increasing. So let's take a look at further into the future now as we go into let's do this. Let's go into what's expected. So zooming into Flagler County here and zooming into let's tag Palm Coast. So we're looking at right now for the next 6 to 10 days, a 53% chance of above normal temperatures and a 42% chance of above normal precipitation. So more rain than normal and hotter temperatures than normal. No, it isn't hot because it's summertime. This is actually above what we normally see during the summertime. That's what that means. So let's go further. Let's go into the 6 to 14 day. This takes us, and we got to zoom back in one more time here. Let's zoom in. Whoops, not Jacksonville. Let's get Palm Coast. And again, about a 52% chance of above normal temperatures across the area. And then precipitation, though, going into July 9th, looks like slightly above normal, but very minimal chance of that. So maybe we might be getting back to more normal precipitation as we get into the middle part of July. So let's talk about wildfire risk right now. So at this point, we are looking at a drought index. Let's get to Flagler County of about 264. So what does that mean? Let's get the detailed look. And that tells us that we're still not as bad as we were in the past, but we are starting to dry out. But again, we're not in too terribly bad a shape. But because things are drying out, we now have 4 contained wildfires that are being monitored by the Florida Forest Service. All of these are less than a couple acres. Matter of fact, most of them are less than a quarter acre. So nothing to really worry about, but these are being monitored by the Florida Forest Service. So to wrap things up here, drier air suppressing showers and storms, but we can expect shower and storm activity to increase as we go through into the next few days and going into the weekend. And the one thing I did want to check as well, whoops, wrong click here. One last look here, and we're going to take a look at the beaches. So right now, the UV index has been running anywhere from extreme to very high. It's knocked down to very high right now. Moderate rip current risk out there. Water temperatures have now come up a little bit, 80 to 85 degrees, probably closer to that 80 degree mark for your surf temperature. So not bad day at the beach, but we're going to see those increasing chances of showers and thunderstorms. Remember, if you're at the beach and if you hear thunder, you are in range of that lightning. That's the time to take shelter. So that's going to wrap it up. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope everyone has a great rest of the week. We will likely be back at the end of the week or of the weekend with an update. Everybody have a great evening.